Well, welcome everybody. It's good to see familiar faces. I'm happy to be here to answer your questions. But I was just making a comment. A lot of the ladies out there look pretty sharp. Somebody has a hat on. And I just wanted to make a comment that when I do mission work overseas, especially Haiti, when the ladies come into the office for their eye exam, they are wearing white gloves. They have on the best outfits, hats. They're dressed up. I mean, it's a big deal. And of course, years ago in the US, women used to dress up to go shopping.
Yes, I remember that. I wore white gloves, hats.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
in the 50s and 60s.
Uh-huh. And you see that in Africa too.
Yeah.
There was a lady in Togo that she walked 3 days to get her eye surgery, and her clothes she was really disheveled, and she was embarrassed to come to see me. So another lady there gave her some really nice clothes to wear, so she dressed up and she could come in. But they take a lot of pride in their appearance. So we're going to have a new policy here for the Kondrot meeting. I want all the ladies to dress up. And you know what I'll do? I'll wear a coat and tie. All right. Well, there's two things I wanted to mention. Number one, I'm writing a paper on the use of ozonated saline for dry eyes. So I would appreciate it if any of you are using it. Let Chris know. And there's a short summary that you need to fill out, but I'm going to use this data to publish a paper on the use of ozone, because I see a lot of people that are suffering from using a lot of caustic eye drops. Like Restasis. Restasis is a chemotherapeutic drop used to treat rejections after transplants. It's a really more powerful than steroids. So a lot of these drugs are very nasty for the eye. The second thing, I'm doing research on the link between bowel health, the microbiome of the bowel, and eye disease. And more articles are coming out stating that if you have an unhealthy gut, you need to address that first. So there was also another study done that people that have an unhealthy gut may not respond to the homeopathic remedy as well as they should. So if any of you do have an unhealthy gut, contact Chris and we'll schedule a 15-minute time. I'll review what's going on with your gut and make some recommendations, okay? So there are two items, the artificial tears, or the ozonated eye drops, and the gut. So Jean, you have a question? We'll start the ball rolling here.
Okay, I do. I've had a bit of an incident in this last little while. I had a procedure done, and the doctor recommended that I take this drug for GERDs, and it caused an exacerbation of my COPD. So I had a bout with that, and then she put me on 5 days of prednisone, which I know was a bad thing, but I did. And I took the last one yesterday morning, and I got my new homeopathic from my Thompson. It only took 2 days to get it from Toronto. But I didn't take it because I didn't want to interfere with that prednisone interfering with it, because it's a one-time shot, right? So
no, you can take the homeopathic remedy. See, when you're taking the LM you take every day.
no, this isn't the LM though. This is a no-soap that you have prescribed, just a
Oh yeah,
one-time
you
shot.
better wait then. No, you better wait.
Yeah. So how long should I wait? How long?
I would wait a week. After you finish the steroids, wait a week and then take it.
Okay, well, I finished it, so I'll take it the end of next week then.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm really anxious to take it, because I think from what I read on it, I really think it's going to help. Yeah. And
Good.
I think too that what you're talking about, the gut, because I think this is probably going to help my gut as well,
Oh,
by
no,
the
yeah.
sounds of it.
If we're going to help your gut, and then it'll help your eyes.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. So I'm very anxious to get started, but I don't want to ruin my chance by having taken this prednisone, which I probably should have refused, but
Mhm.
I didn't. So, yeah, because
Yeah,
I was
well,
really sick. So,
what happened to you illustrates the problem with a lot of medications.
yes,
Every medication may have some benefits, but also it has a lot of side effects.
that's right. That's right. So
Yeah,
I
so wait a
really,
week and then take the new homeopathic remedy.
okay, all right. Okay, that
Okay,
was my question for today. Thank
okay,
you.
good luck.
Okay, thank you.
Vivian, hi, how are you?
Hi, I am good, thank you. I have two things. One, I wanted to mention that I was diagnosed with dry eye, and when I started taking Oclamed, I no longer had dry eye. That has taken care of that for me. So, the other thing is, I would like to know your recommendation for sunglasses. I I got new lenses. You can no longer get trifocals with the transition lens. The manufacturer is no longer producing the blanks, and they've been pulled from all practices. I was, for years I've had trifocals and I always get transitions. These do not have transitions. And I use solar shields, but I notice a difference. My eyes are light sensitive, and when I had the transitions and the solar shields, I had no problem. But now with just solar shields, I'm more sensitive. And I wonder if there's a better fit over sunglass that you would recommend.
Well, number one, I think our body we do need some ultraviolet light. So completely protecting your eyes from ultraviolet light can be dangerous and harmful. Now, if you've had cataract surgery, then you've lost all the natural protection that your lens gives for the ultraviolet light.
Yeah, I've avoided that. That's one
Mm.
reason. I know the artificial lenses don't protect your
Yeah.
macula.
So I think if you have, you know, God's lens still in your eye,
I
then
do.
I would not worry that much about ultraviolet glasses, ultraviolet protection glasses. Just you have a nice hat on, and that's protecting your eyes from a lot of the sun.
I always wear a brimmed
Yeah.
hat.
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
But those of you that may have had cataract surgery, you need to protect your eyes from the ultraviolet light. Our body needs ultraviolet light. That's the way we manufacture vitamin D, and so many people now are deficient in vitamin D. And why? They're not getting enough sunlight.
Yeah.
Oh, there was an interesting study done that children that spend at least an hour outdoors have a much lower progression of their myopia. Myopia is becoming a big problem in youngsters, young children. And the reason is they're not going outside. They come home from school and they're on their iPhone, their computer, they're texting, and you need to get outside and get that sunlight.
And we spent most of the day outside as children, but that childhood has changed dramatically.
Oh yeah, I couldn't wait to get home from school, and I'd run outside, and I had to be home when the street lights come on. I would stay out
Yeah,
until the street lights came on.
yeah.
Uh, all right, Tyra, how are you? I can't see you. I just see the top of your head. That's it. You got to adjust your computer. Yeah, good. And let's see here. You got to unmute your microphone. Okay. Did you find the unmute button? Well, I'm going to shift over to Elaine while you're figuring out the mute button there. Hi, Elaine.
Hi, I just thought I'd update you that in a couple of hours, it'll be 2 days I've been on the new remedy, and there's a slight improvement.
By slight improvement, what do you mean? Give me a
Well,
percentage.
like when I would take the remedy and after an hour or so, I would feel better. And then it would go away and it would all come back again. But it would be good for that length of time. And I tried to separate the timing to 2 or 3 hours, but it came back worse if I did that. So I'm taking 2 pellets every 2 hours. Excuse me, every hour to hour and a half for the last 2 days.
So it's helping.
There's an improvement. My nose is still pretty plugged, but it's not running constantly like it was before.
Well, give the remedy some time to work because
Yeah.
every time you take a dose that resonates with you, and you're pushing your body more towards health. If the remedy
Pardon
starts
me?
not to work, if the remedy all of a sudden stops working, let me know, and we may want to increase the potency.
Okay, it just on the dry cough that I had is getting it to be a wheezing cough.
Mhm.
But other than that, there seems to be a better, little things are better.
Good.
So
That's what we like to hear. It starts out as little things, and hopefully it'll keep on growing.
thank
You know,
you.
homeopathy kind of begins to resonate in the body, and pretty soon it spreads all over your body.
Thank you.
So happy to hear that.
Thank you
Miss
for the
Betty,
help.
Miss Betty Parker, how are you?
Hey, Dr. Kondrot, how are you? Just a
Real good.
quick question for you on keeping your eyes hydrated. Would a hot cloth, or just a hot washcloth, thick washcloth, hot over your eyes, stimulate your eyes to produce liquid?
Well, you're using this to treat dry eyes or inflammation. What's the reason for the hot?
Yeah, to treat dry eyes. Yeah, yeah. In conjunction with using the ozone drops,
Mhm.
which, takes 15, 20 minutes, to do, just especially like if you're traveling too, and you just don't have the convenience of, having all of the ozone stuff.
Mhm.
Would just a
Oh, no, I
hot,
think, the using a moist washcloth over your eyes, that's increasing the humidity. And especially in your home, if you have, air conditioning or you have forced air heat, that tends to dry the air. The other thing is to, invest in a humidifier.
Mhm.
If you don't have humidifier, you don't have the finances to buy one, just put a basin of water near the vent that,
Mhm.
the hot air comes in.
Okay.
And
Okay.
that'll help, improve the humidity. Or you can even buy a humidifier just for your bedroom, sleeping at night.
Right.
Or in the office as you do a lot of work, just to increase the humidity. And that's definitely going to be a problem. Those of you up north, when winter comes and you have heat, it's really drying things out, and it makes it really a problem for people with dry eyes.
Okay.
So that's a good suggestion.
Okay.
Hot
Thank you.
washcloth over the eyes. Hi, Roxanne, you got your hand up. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
Real good. I'm getting ready to go to Angola, Africa.
Oh, Angola. Very nice.
Heading to
Or
Angola in about a
is it
week.
a medical mission?
A medical mission, yeah. So we'll be there. There's a Methodist church they bought 14 square miles in West Angola. So we fly into Luanda, and from Luanda, we drive 12 hours west to get
Wow.
to this mission. So it's very remote, and the people there just don't have any eye help at all.
No.
So my
Mount,
wife and I were there.
mountainous.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful part of Africa. The people are
Mm.
wonderful. They're very grateful. And we were there a couple of months ago last year, and we had a wonderful time. So they have invited us back.
Is the main problem with these groups of people blindness from cataracts?
Blindness from cataract and also blindness from glaucoma,
Glaucoma.
and also blindness from different tropical diseases too.
Mm.
So did you have a question?
I do. I have a quick question. Do you have any evidence that ozone ear insufflation reaches the eye in any way?
It's interesting. In Europe, they tend to use more auricular ozone than they do rectal. For some reason, here in the US, rectal is more popular. During the last COVID epidemic, I began using a lot more auricular because I just got tired of poking myself up my butt with the ozone. And I do think the auricular can have a lot of benefit. And the way you do the auricular is you put the bag, you fill the bag with a couple hundred cc's of ozone, and then connect a stethoscope to the bag, a silicone stethoscope, put it in your ears and just gently squeeze the bag. So I think it's a good alternative for rectal insufflation.
Because it's so close to the eyes, do you think that the benefit of the ozone reaches the eyes?
Well, no, it's not the ozone gas going in the eye. The ozone's going into the circulation.
In the
So there's
system?
tiny capillaries in your air. And when you're putting the ozone in the air, those tiny capillaries absorb the ozone, goes into your bloodstream. So the goal is not to blow the ozone on the eye. The goal is to get it in your bloodstream. But I guess your thought is, well, the blood vessels are closer, to the eye, but actually they're absorbed
Yeah.
through the venous system. It has to go to the heart, then it goes to the eye. So if you do it rectally, it goes to the heart, then the eye. You do it in the ear, has to go to heart, then the eye. So
Okay,
I
so
think
it's the same as rectal.
I think it's a good alternative. And most of the doctors here in the US feel that the rectal is the best way to go. But on the
Yeah.
other hand, the auricular is so much easier. You could do the auricular once or twice a day and there's no problem. But when you do the
Right.
rectal, it's, setting up the equipment, and you usually have a bowel movement and. So during COVID, I was doing the auricular every day.
So
that's
just about all of your patients would benefit from something like that if they could get their hands on an ozone machine, right?
Definitely.
Okay.
Ozone is not only beneficial for the eye, it's also the best way to treat viral infections and epidemics. So we don't know what's around the corner in terms of infections.
Mhm.
And my friend, Dr. Robert Rowan, during the Ebola epidemic, which was really deadly in Africa, he traveled to Sierra Leone and successfully treated several patients with Ebola with ozone.
Mhm.
Wow.
Well, I can make a plug for a machine for the benefit of your other patients if you'll let me.
Yeah,
I just purchased, and I'm only mentioning it because it's so easy to use and explanatory video, very clear. And I find that it's no challenge at all to use it. So it's a company that's called Simply O3.
Yeah.
And they
that's
have
a
the
company I
stethoscope. So
recommend.
I was
Yeah, I
wondering
recommend
if
that
I should
company.
get all that,
Simply O3. Simply
Right, and
O3. Yeah.
and the company's very responsive. Like if you don't know what you're doing and you need to talk to them, they get right after it. So I'm very happy with that. They have the ear insufflation, they have the stethoscope, and they tell you, pretty clearly how to do the rectal insufflation and so forth. So I really can endorse that company. I mean, I can really
Okay,
say,
well, that's
recommend
good to
them,
know.
let's say.
And I agree with you. I've had a lot of success with that company, and you can order the equipment directly. You don't have to go through our office.
No,
Okay, good comment. And
thank you.
Betty, you have another comment or?
Yeah, I just thought of something that might be kind of silly, but when you ozonate can you use the eyedropper that you put in your eye? Can you put it in your nose instead? Would that,
Well, ozone, you have to be careful with ozone getting into the lungs.
okay,
Ozone is toxic to the lungs.
okay.
That's one of the reasons why a lot of American doctors don't like the auricular, because you are putting a small amount of ozone into the air. So a small amount isn't detrimental, but if you do get a good whiff of concentrated ozone, it can cause an asthmatic attack and definitely irritates your lungs. So
Okay.
there are some people that recommend ozone saline as a nasal wash. But I
Huh.
think you have to be careful with that because the ozone is irritating to the lungs.
Okay. Can you make your own ozone?
Yeah, well, that's what people are doing when they buy their ozone generator. They're making their own ozone. See, you can't
Oh,
buy the
I'm sorry, the
ozone.
solution. Can you make your own saline solution?
Yeah, I have a YouTube video on that. That's what we recommend. You use normal saline and you bubble the ozone into the normal saline, and then you get a glass bottle. It's important you get a glass bottle, not a plastic, because ozone eats plastic.
Right.
And you get a glass dropper bottle and use that. And then when you're done with it, at the end of the day, when you want to reozonate it, just put it back in your ozone container, a flask or glass container that you ozonate the saline.
Right. 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 Gotcha. Thank you.
But I think if you don't have an ozone generator, you know,
Yeah.
well,
Oh, I
there's
do.
two types. Yeah, there's two types of ozone generators. One is to make the saline eye drops. And you can buy that generator for under $100. And that uses ambient air. You don't need a tank of oxygen. But if you're doing therapeutic ozone treatment, either auricular or rectal, you need to buy a more advanced unit,
I
and you
see.
do need a tank of oxygen.
I see. I see.
And-
Okay. Gotcha.
And I don't want to hear from anybody that you can't get oxygen. Because you can go, there's a company called Airgas, AIRGAS. They're nationwide. And last year, a couple of years ago, when I was in California, the most regulated state in the country, I walked into an air gas store and asked them for a tank of oxygen. They didn't even ask me what I was using it for, or didn't even check an ID. They sold it to me.
Hmm.
So you can get oxygen readily for the machine.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, Linda has a question. Hi, Linda. How are you? Nope, you got to unmute.
Hi, I'm good, thank you. I just had my eye exam a few weeks ago with my ophthalmologist. Everything is good. My eye pressure is 13.
Oh,
Um,
And what was it
I-
before?
well, it was around, I think, 16 or 17,
Well, that's
but
a nice improvement. Yeah.
yes, but it's down to 13. Everything is still pretty much the same, he said. But I did give him information about you, so he said he was going to check it out. I have a few questions, if I may.
Yeah.
Been using the machine because I had a accident July 15th, the day before my birthday. I fell backwards on an exercise machine working out. Hurt my shoulder, rotator cuff, and fell on my left side on the back of the machine. My right thigh and my backside. In fact, my backside was burning. Much, much better. Still have some issues though with the shoulder. So I've been using the machine for the inflammation, which I guess is good or not a problem.
It should help. The microcurrent is excellent for inflammatory conditions, musculoskeletal. Works
The only
very well.
problem I have is when I go to physical therapy, it's cookie cutter. So I start using heavier weights and then I have a problem. But I am a certified personal trainer, so I know what to do. And I stopped that for a while. My other question though is, I'm supposed to be, well, we're supposed to be able to use the machine for our face or our skin. And,
Well, you don't need it on your face, and maybe other people do.
well, I'm always looking to, keep it. So I haven't been able to figure out how to do that.
Do you have the facial program on your machine?
Yes,
Okay, well, there's
yes.
many different ways of doing it. The simplest way is to get the two washcloths and hold it up here like this,
Oh, okay.
or like
With
this.
the gloves.
Yeah, with the gloves.
And you can do
And
that
then
on,
there also are some estheticians, I think I'm pronouncing it right. They use a probe. You can get a probe with the machine, and you can actually work on the wrinkles, stretching the skin. You get two little probes. I think there is a link available on how to order the probes,
okay.
but that's
Is
another
there,
way to do it.
is there anything that should be put on the skin or the face before doing that, or just keep the washcloth
I would
damp?
say just use the water, because remember, microcurrent is a carrier. So if you
Mhm.
put some petrochemicals on your skin, the microcurrent will carry it deeper. Now,
Okay,
of course,
I don't,
if you're using all natural products, it's probably not going to be an issue.
I
Castor
don't
oil.
use any makeup when I use that, by the way, for the eyes, because you said
Mhm.
it's not good to have any eye makeup on or anything.
Right.
So I guess the same thing when you're doing that as well.
Hmm. Yes.
And that can be used for the neck as well.
The neck. Yeah, it's a wonderful program. In fact, the number one use of microcurrent in the world is facial rejuvenation.
Oh, okay. Yes. All right. Thank you.
Okay, well, good luck. Next time we see you, we're not going to recognize you. Okay, Tara, I think you have your microphone on now.
I hope so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, hear you loud and
Okay,
clear.
good. Now, after everyone else's questions, I have several. One was raised on,
Oh, can you
um,
adjust your, yeah, so we can see you. I'm just seeing the top of your head.
trying to hold it there.
Yeah.
Anyway, I've had the cataract surgery long, long ago, and I have actually felt that going in the sun without sunglasses, I really benefit from it. Am I causing damage that I'm not aware of? Because it really feels like when I don't use the sunglasses, that it improves my vision.
Well, the problem is the human lens protects the eye from excessive ultraviolet light. And when you've had your cataract removed and you have that clear plastic, uh, it, 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 it enables a lot more ultraviolet light to get into your eye, and you can get a high dose. So I think you have to be cautious.
And what would you consider being cautious then?
Well, being outside for a long period of time, not looking directly at the sun, being careful of glare coming off the sidewalks.
Okay,
I would say that, if you've had cataract surgery, then you should wear ultraviolet glasses when you're outside.
all the time?
I would say all the time because you lost your protection.
Wow. And what about just a hat? Would that be okay?
Yeah, as long as the hat is protecting you in the shade, but don't forget a lot of the ultraviolet light is invisible. It's reflected off of the sidewalk and, different obstacles around you.
Okay.
In fact, there are some lens companies that actually have built an ultraviolet protection in the ocular lenses. So
All
you may
right.
want to check with your doctor to see if you have a UV blocker in the lens.
Okay. Thank you.
Now, most of the research that's out there has shown that you need to protect your eyes from all ultraviolet light because it's linked to macular degeneration and cataracts. I kind of disagree with that. Our body needs a moderate amount of ultraviolet light. Anything in excess is dangerous to our body. You know, too much water can kill you, too much oxygen can kill you, too much sunlight can cause a lot of damage, but we do need a moderate amount of ultraviolet exposure. That's why so many people have low levels of vitamin D. But I am concerned if you had cataract surgery, you need to protect your eyes with an ultraviolet of glasses.
All right.
And it's not polarized. So many people I see, oh, these are the glasses I got. And all it has is polarized. Polarized is not ultraviolet protection.
All right, thank you. And then I have another question regarding if you could give us some guidance on the kind of salt to use. There's so much controversy, and everything I've looked up on different sites shows that they all have high lead content, especially the Himalayan and the Celtic salt that everyone's been recently was saying to use. And I found the websites very confusing and just really
Well, the
would like to.
Himalayan salt should not have any lead at all because it's from an ancient inland sea. But I think the problem is you have a lot of fake products out there. People are just, you know, dyeing it pink and calling it Himalayan. Just like olive oil. A lot of olive oil is now cut with canola oil.
Well, some of the sites that I've looked at as far as lead content claim that all of them have pretty high lead.
No, you have to send that to me. And I think the last meeting, somebody talked about a lead test kit.
Right.
It could be a way that we can test the salt very easily. Who was it that shared the information about the home lead test kit? I guess he or she's not here.
Well, I know. Go ahead.
Well, I have some input on that, Tara. The Lead Safe Mama website, I've mentioned her several times. I haven't been on in a few weeks, but she does a lot of work, and she actually has an article about the salt, and especially what you were saying about, you know, the Himalayan and the Celtic. So she does have a good article on her website, and she recommends, there are a couple that are safe. I don't remember exactly what they are, but if you go to Lead Safe Mama or Tamara Rubin, she has quite a bit of information on it there. And I think it's just like Doctor said, you know, a lot of people call it Himalayan pink salt, but you know, you can't be sure where it's sourced from.
Yeah, Lois, if you find out that information on the safe Himalayan salts, let us know, and I can post it to the group. You know,
Okay,
in an email.
Okay. All right. Then I have, if Tara's done, I have a couple more questions, unless there's someone else ahead of me.
No, you got the floor, so let's.
Okay. All right. A couple quick questions. When you're, I don't have the facial program, but when you're using the gloves, and like if I hold the gloves in place on my eyes with my hands, I think Chris mentioned several months ago that if you're touching the gloves, then the microcurrent may be going into your hands and not into your eyes or wherever else.
That's definitely true.
Okay.
When you do put the gloves on your eyes, you shouldn't be holding them with your hands.
Okay.
Because the current could be going into your, bypassing your eye.
Right. Okay. The next thing I have, I remember, this must have been one of your calls last year, I believe it was. The doctor, I can't think of his last name. I think it begins with an A, but he did, and I think it's on your website. You have the article about using essential oils for your eyes.
Oh yeah, that was Dr. Vega.
Okay. All right. Well, I found, and he had you've also recommended frankincense, and I know that, you know, I've done a lot of work with aromatherapy over the years, and one of the things that they say is, you know, you can't necessarily put frankincense like in water or any essential oil, because the oil and water don't mix, and it may not be suspended properly. So anyway, I found a product recently that I really, really like, and it's a roll-on, and it has frankincense diluted in argan oil. And so I can put that on my face, but I also put it around my eyes when I'm doing the eye protocol. And I think that it's really helpful.
Well, let me just make a comment.
Yeah.
We routinely put a couple drops of frankincense oil in water
Okay,
and we soaked, the gloves in, or
right.
the
The
washcloth in.
washcloths.
And we did get, was a strong frankincense aroma. So even though you're right, the oil doesn't dissolve in the water, but still
Mhm.
some of the essence
Right,
is
okay.
resonates in the water.
Okay, all right. Well, I just find that, I've tried that, but I find that I'm having, I think, better success using the roll-on around my eyes. You can put it in the eye bags and then on your eyelids
And
and
what's
all
the
around
other
the orbit.
ingredient? What's the other ingredient with the
Just
fragrance?
organic argan oil, ARGAN, which is
Yeah, but
which
I'd question, is the safety of that.
well,
Because
argan
remember,
oil. Okay, argan oil has been around and used a lot, with essential oils and everything. And it's found to be like very nutritive to the face and wrinkles and that kind of thing. It's
yeah,
used
but
for a lot
remember
of
the
things.
microcurrent is acting as a carrier. It's taking it deep into your body.
Okay,
And a
okay,
pure, essential oil specialist would not agree with that. They just want the plain oil. So I
okay, okay,
really
gotcha.
question the mixtures because you're
Okay,
dealing with the eye, and I'm not sure about this other product getting into your body.
okay, okay, all right, all right. Another question I have is, years ago I replaced, I stopped, I had used, some of the newer light bulbs, the fluorescents and those other ones, and I stopped all that and I replaced everything with incandescent light bulbs. But now they're starting to burn out and I can't find new ones. And a friend of mine went to the hardware store to try to find some, and he said that, they're now illegal and they're banned in the US. So do you or does anyone in the group have a source or a way that we can get, incandescent
Where do you
bulbs?
live? Where do you live, Lois?
I live in Northeast Ohio near Cleveland.
I think they're still available.
Okay, all right. Well, I will double check on that. Okay. Okay. But
Uh,
he was told that, a couple of the different hardware, I don't know if it was True Value and I know Lowe's doesn't carry any anymore because I've tried to get them. They only have LEDs.
yeah, that could be a problem if that's the case.
Right.
Excuse
Now,
me.
if we do have to go to LEDs, is there, like some of them recommend, I do have, the blue filtering lenses on my glasses, but is there, can we get some kind of fit over like an amber glasses or something that can filter that light in the evening? Because I can't walk around in the dark all the time.
Okay, I'm just searching here.
Can I
Incandescent
answer
light
that
bulbs are
question?
still
Oh,
available.
sure.
I don't think they were, I think what Congress did about 20 some years ago is they decided to have them, not
Phased
made any
out.
longer.
Right.
And at that point, when they did, I bought up quite a few.
Me too, but I'm
But
running out.
yeah, but like I say, you might have to look online because it's the other ones that are really available. That's the problem.
Right.
What
Right.
Congress did.
Right.
I
Right.
I don't think they're illegal and they're banned, but they just wanted us to go with the other type
Right.
of
Yeah, and
lighting.
a lot of the stores just don't want to take the risk of selling them and get fined. But I do think if you search for them online, you can definitely find them, but
I
they're still
found,
available.
I found them actually at Batteries Plus, and they didn't think they had them when I asked for it, but they went to appliance bulbs. And that's where they found those exact bulbs.
It's
They
called,
had it in the store, Batteries Plus.
are they online or is that a physical store?
I went to a physical store, but I imagine you could find them online, so I
Yeah,
bought.
batteries plus, they're online.
Okay.
Big chain.
It was an appliance bulb is what it was.
Okay. Do you know what the wattage was, Elaine?
15, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, see, yeah, but I mean, for my lamps in my house, I need like, 50 or 75 or 60 or 100. 15 isn't going to be bright enough.
Oh, these were for the light therapy. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah,
Check
but then you
eBay.
should be able to get a 50-watt
Check
incandescent.
eBay.
Okay. Oh,
Menard,
thank you.
eBay.
That's a good idea. Thank you. Thank
I
you,
found
everyone.
them at Menards too. Menards carried the 60 watts incandescent.
Okay, yeah, I found some there too, but then when I went back, they were all gone. So, okay, thank you.
Okay, Renee, how are you? You got your hand up? Hi. You have to
Hi.
unmute. Okay,
Hi,
good.
I just wanted to give you some information about Oclamed eye drops, which I've been on since I started seeing you at the end of February with no problems. And I usually buy 3 bottles at a time because each one lasts about a month. And my last batch, when I opened the first one, it had a very, very strong odor like rotten eggs. And I contacted them and they are in the process of sending me a replacement. Excuse me, but they said they have had other people say the same thing. So I just wanted to give you a heads up that they're trying to figure out what happened to that particular batch.
Now,
Where
do you
did you
think it's
order from?
during the summer? Do you think the storage and the high heat could have caused a breakdown?
All my supplements are stored in a closet that is out of the light and it's cool.
No, I mean talking about when
happened?
they ship it, because we've had a lot of problems with the homeopathic remedies being shipped in the heat.
Yeah,
Hahnemann has a little tag that if it changes color, then that means that the heat is probably antidoted the homeopathic remedy. We've had a couple of patients that had to return their remedy.
yeah,
So it could
I
be the same
don't,
issue.
it did arrive during the summer, so that could have been a problem.
Yeah.
But just, that's all. I have new ones that are okay. But to let people know
Renee,
that,
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that the company's responsive and they're sending you a new bottle.
yeah. Renee, do you happen, I have a bottle in reserve that I haven't opened yet. Do you happen to have that batch number? So that, I might, because I don't want to have a bad bottle. I may need to reorder or something.
let me go grab it and then I'll come back on.
All right,
Or
thank-
Renee, you can email it to me and I
Oh,
can post
okay.
batch number to
Okay.
the group.
Yeah, I
Great,
mean,
thank
even
Email
the,
it to info at Healing the Eye. And when I post the recording, I'll post the batch number.
Great,
and
thanks so much.
they did tell me that even the one that I get might be from the same batch and they were hesitant to send it, but I'm using one from the same batch that's fine. So it was just one that I got that was bad so far.
Could it be an environmental issue?
Right,
Yeah.
okay, all
Okay,
right,
I'll send that to you.
thank you.
And when you go to Angola, Dr. Kondrot, is that where you saw the little cross-eyed girl and you're gonna do the surgery?
Oh,
to
that
fix-
cross-eyed girl was in Togo.
Oh, okay.
We're not going to do any cross-eyes in Angola. That has to be scheduled with an anesthesiologist. We have to find an anesthesiologist because the kids
Oh.
have to be put asleep. The adults will lie still, but you have a 2-year-old, they're not going to be lying there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Hey, Jean, you have another question?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just wanted to get more information on this auricular treatment for the ozone treatment. Exactly what is it doing?
Oh, that's a really good question. Ozone is a highly reactive form of oxygen.
Yes.
It's O3. Oxygen is essential for healing. If you have low oxygen in your body, it's not going to heal. Diabetics, how they get these non-healing ulcers, they have poor circulation in their legs. So one of the goals is to improve the oxygenation. Also, ozone causes a cascade of different chemical events in your body. One thing in particular is that it resets the oxygen uptake of the mitochondria. So when you're younger, probably maybe 80 to 90% of the oxygen in your bloodstream goes into the mitochondria. But as you get older, maybe only 50 or 60%. So the ozone resets it. So the mitochondria, which are the powerhouses of the cell, are getting more oxygen. Also, ozone makes the platelets a little bit more pliable. So they're able to get into the small capillaries more effectively. It kind of softens the platelets. and it does a lot of other biochemical reactions, which I don't want to get into. I think you can probably go on YouTube, or you know what? I'll send a lecture to all of you that Dr. Rowan gave on ozone,
Okay.
and I'll make a note of that. And he explains in detail all the benefits of ozone. So I think it's a wonderful, that's in addition to its bactericidal and virucidal effect.
Would
Yeah,
this
really.
would this improve my oxygen levels? Because this morning, like my oxygen was down to 93, like it's not good. But would it improve that?
No, it's not going to improve your oxygen level, but it'll improve the uptake of your existing oxygen.
Okay.
So your oxygen level may be 93 and maybe you're short of breath because only 50% of it's being uptake in your cells.
Right.
If we could reset the uptake to 60 or 70, then you're utilizing more of the oxygen.
Okay. Okay.
So
All
that could
right.
be.
I would really like that article. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send, Dr. Rowan gave a lecture.
Okay.
Oh, and incidentally, I'm planning speakers for the Vision event this year, not this year, next year. If any of you have somebody in particular you want to have as a speaker, the Vision event, let me know. I'm starting
I
to
wish you
form
could
a
get
list.
I wish you could get Dr. Chris Kanabi. I know you've tried to contact him and he's just too busy.
He's too busy.
Yeah,
But all that material is out there already. He's written a couple of good books.
right. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Doctor, I have a quick question. Is there any other way other than the ozone therapy to increase our oxygen uptake? I think one time you mentioned, getting your doing, is it high intensity training or something like that in your
Oh,
exercise?
yeah, it's called EWAT,
Okay.
exercise with oxygen therapy. So what you do is, you're on a treadmill and you have a mask of oxygen, but you have to exercise anaerobically. In other
Okay.
words, anaerobic exercise is when you're exercising to a point and you cannot carry on a conversation. You're short of breath.
Okay.
So if you're still able to talk, it's not effective. So you have to get into the anaerobic state. Now, one of the best ways to do that is to get an oxygen concentrator. I would not recommend to have a tank of oxygen when you're doing EWAT, exercise with oxygen therapy, because you're going to go through that tank pretty quickly.
Right. Okay.
But the generators, the oxygen concentrators, are fairly expensive.
Okay. Can we get one on our own? Do we have to have a prescription for an oxygen
No,
concentrator?
you can get a oxygen concentrator on your own.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We got Tyra, you got your hand up again, but I can't see you. You're
Yes. Yes, I thought of.
I'm going to ask you to sit up straight and don't slouch.
Is that better?
Oh, much better.
Okay. I forgot again. Okay. Two questions. I've been told that my mineral levels were quite low, and I'm concerned then for starting the chelation, since that does chelate minerals as well. I know you do a supplement with that, but would you think that it might be contrary to me doing it at that point then?
Yeah, if your minerals are really low, you may want to get them replaced.
Okay, well, I'm kind of
And
working
how
on
are
that.
the minerals measured?
Biofeedback.
Oh, I'm not big with biofeedback. That can be
Really?
very, very inaccurate.
Okay. And then a question on the ozone insufflation. One of the videos from Simply 03 said that it could at times affect your gut microbiome. So if you're already having gut issues, would you think that would not be a good thing to do?
I don't think it's going to affect the gut microbiome because you're only putting it in the rectal area. It's not going into your colon and your intestine. You're only going in about an inch or so. I don't
Okay.
think it's an issue.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Vivian, I think your hand was up. Oh, you got to unmute. Yep, you got to unmute. You're still muted. Vivian, do you hear me? I think your camera froze. Okay, we'll get, oh, she's back. You have to unmute. I'm going to have to wait, Vivian. We're going to have to take somebody else. Somebody else has a question? Hey, Mark, I'm glad you joined here. I'm getting a little overwhelmed. There's all women here and I'm the only male. Thanks, Mark, for saving me.
Whoa.
Okay, I guess Vivian, we lost Vivian.
I just unmuted. Can you hear me?
Yeah, is that you, Vivian?
Yes.
Okay, we lost your
Um,
picture, but that's, oh, there you are.
Yeah, several things. I wanted to say to Betty, when I was first diagnosed with dry eye, my treating physician said a warm, moist washcloth will help to melt the oily substance that's plugging the place where the tears come out to lubricate the eye. So that warmth and moisture has another purpose, and that helps the liquid get to the eye. Because one of the problems is the ducts are blocked by an oily substance, and the warm or really warm, moist washcloth helps clear that.
Yeah, well, that's a good point because there's a condition called blepharitis, which is
Yes,
often associated with dry eyes, and that's inflammation of the oil glands on your eyelash near your eyelashes.
Mhm.
And one
yes,
of the treatments is the hot compress. So you're right. It'll not only help improve the moisture, but treat that inflammation and blockage.
yes. I had a question about applying the gloves to my eyes. Is it important that they really get tucked in and conform to the eye, or does the current
No,
leap across the air if there's a space that's not touching the glove with
they
the
just have to
washcloth?
gently touch your eyes. It doesn't have to be pushing against your eyeball.
Okay,
Because don't
'cause
forget, a lot of the current is going in through the orbital rims to the eye,
oh, through the bone?
through the bones, yes.
Okay, because I always make mine conform, but I realized I was touching the washcloth for part of that time, so I need to not be touching it. I will make sure I don't
Well,
do that, but
if you soak the washcloth in water and it's moist, it'll probably conform naturally as it settles in.
okay. All right, and also, I don't have the facial program. Is there another program? I have 5. One is the anti-inflammatory. Is there anything on that list that would
You
help
should have 10
kids?
programs. You only have 5?
I only have 5.
You have to talk to Chris. We have to update your machine. We can put 10 programs on your machine.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay,
Thank you.
we'll get it updated.
All right.
Roxanne, hi again.
I was just following up on your suggestion about speakers or your request for suggestions. And I was wondering if you might do something about the effect of oral health on eye health. For example, I was thinking of a particular biological dentist that I've heard speak about oral health and its effect on people systemically, like their gut, their blood,
Oh,
their
yeah, I
mental
think
health
that's a
even. And I thought that
very,
that might be interesting to follow up. And the name of the particular person I'm thinking of is Stuart Nunnally, Nunnally, and his practice is in Texas. I've heard him
N-U-N-N-A.
speak online before.
Uh-huh.
Nunnally.
Okay, I
And
got it.
his first name is Stuart, and he's very well spoken and easy to understand, and he's had a lot of practice doing this kind of thing. I thought it might be interesting to hear from him regarding
I think
oral
that's a
health
great
and
idea
its effect
because
on
I do believe that, you know, root canals and amalgams and periodontal disease are definitely
Yes.
related to eye problems. And also the microbiome of your mouth is related to health of your body. In fact,
Yes.
there's a joke that if you have an eye problem, you should first see your dentist.
Yes. Yes.
And that's true. So if you do have a lot of dental caries and cavitations, or these are infections that go unnoticed, this can lead to eye problems. And there's case after case of people, you know, getting a root canal removed and or getting amalgams removed, and they have an improvement of their vision. So that would be a great idea. I have a note here. If you have contact information, I guess I could just search online and give them a call.
I do. If you don't have any success, I can send it to Chris and she can pass it on to you.
Yeah, send it to Chris, and then I'll give him a call, see if he wants to.
Yeah, he has a lot of experience speaking too, so.
Good.
Okay.
Just a quick question,
Yeah, Renee,
a quick comment on the teeth. I had my silver amalgams, I had 8 of them in my molars. I had them removed 18 years ago. And as soon as I had them out, I didn't do it all at once because that's detrimental too. But over a couple of years, my sinus infections, I don't get anymore.
Right.
yeah,
Right.
you hear a lot of testimonials like that.
Yes.
Yep.
You have to do it carefully, and you have to do it through an experienced biological dentist to protect your body, because otherwise there could be a liberation of a lot more mercury into your body, and that can cause a lot more harm.
Right. Yep.
They actually use ozone when they remove those amalgams to protect the patient and the staff present in the room.
Yeah, well,
They administer ozone.
Yeah, most of the biological dentists are really big with ozone.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, one more question because we're coming close to the hour. Lois,
Okay.
you have
Well,
one?
yeah, well, just real quick, I wanted to say I had macular degeneration and drusen, which were stable for years. And about right around the time when COVID started, I had a very, very bad tooth in my upper right jaw that was infected, and I had to have it removed. And an inexperienced dentist took it out. And I kept complaining to him, and he kept saying there's nothing wrong, but I could taste like drainage and stuff. So I went to a biological dentist, and I actually did have a bad infection in my upper right jaw, and it's my right eye that went very, very bad very quickly. The dentist did take care of the cavitation and used ozone, but it cost me like $6,000 to have it done. And that's when my eyes started to really go bad.
Mhm.
I have no doubt that really contributed to the problem.
Mhm. Okay, well, I want to thank everybody. You see the hearts coming up.
Yeah, thank you,
Love
Doctor.
everybody. And look forward to seeing everybody in a couple of weeks. But any other questions, don't forget, meet with Chris
Yes.
on Wednesday, and she can take care of things.
Okay, great.
God
Okay,
bless
have a
Thanks so
good
much.
weekend.
Thank you.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.